Hello and welcome to another Midweek Rant from the Honest Football Podcast. Today we're going to talk about new contract shirts. Am I looking at it right? No? Because I don't know what we're ranting about, I'm not going to lie to people.
Why did you go really high when you said that? Go on,
Bit of Stewie Griffin there, mate.
So yeah, it looks like I'm going to be ranting again. It came from something one of you two mentioned actually. There was a picture a couple of weeks ago of Kylian Mbappe.
It's just
a proper presentation in the PSG room with shirt, the back of the shirt with the number 1000 on it, Mbappe, and celebrating 1,000 training goals for the club. Firstly, why the fuck are you counting?
who counts them? Is that just in drills? Is that
we talk about win at all costs.
I'm assuming that's the performance manager where that doesn't.
I mean, that's got to be in practice matches because if you've got the the half an hour drill where you take the touch and shoot the keeper, of course you're going to score 1,000 goals. You should be. How's it taking you a year and a bit? But most importantly, I wanted to talk about something that seems to be a creeping trend in terms of new contract signings. So I've seen a couple recently where players have been announced, we've signed an extension till 2021, 2022, and they're holding up a shirt with 2021 and 2022 on the back. Now, I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they start trying to sell them to fans.
No.
Oh, look, we've got Sanchez till 2022 or whatever else, and try and sell them as a shirt.
Yeah.
But I just get, what's the point? You're wasting a shirt. And I tell you what, instead of doing that, make each shirt a penny cheaper for the fans. I don't understand. What's the need? Just announce that they've signed it.
Yeah.
What used to be wrong with the old picture with them just signing the contract?
Yeah,
what was wrong with that?
Yeah,
I more of a personal touch,
because it's not fun.
Proves they've actually signed the contract, though, doesn't it?
Would you say that's worse though? You might not remember this, but back in the 90s, Brian Robson took over as Middlesbrough's player manager.
Yes.
Do you remember what he wore for his press conference?
No.
The announcement. This is a true story. And you have to Google this. Because he was player manager, he wore football socks and shorts. And in a shirt and tie and blazer.
I like that. That's clever.
But would you say that's worse than no shirts?
No. And I've got a very good reason.
What would annoy you more if someone from the media department at a football club does a massive hoo-ha and he's just signed a new contract, or when you get the player signing and it's like for example Sanchez with the piano.
Well, it leads to something else I want to rant about, which is the signings videos of players joining the club, and you've got some of the most ridiculous joining videos you've ever seen.
I think they're cool.
Well, they're obviously catering for they're catering for the FIFA audience, essentially, aren't they?
Yeah, that's
which is what my problem is. But my biggest problem with these, the contract ones, and the reason it's a rant for me, is because I know we're being all drawn to Juventus here. We're still watching from our ramble at the weekend. But back on topic, one of the things that really annoys me is that contracts clearly now, at the elite level where this is happening, aren't worth the paper they're written on.
Well, it's not like
so why make such a big deal? Oh, we've given Phil Jones a 5-year contract, which was one of them, so he can be sold in the summer and we can get an extra 10 million for him.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they're not going to last to the whole contract. So
having a contract to 2023 means at best you're going to be staying till 2021, so, unless you're Arsenal, obviously, but what the fuck matters? Why? I don't get it.
Is there a stat that goes with this that shirt sales are boosted off the back of these videos?
Well, I don't
Phil Jones having a 2023 shirt. Seriously. Is that the argument you're putting across? Because that proves they don't work.
You say that, but maybe not shirt sales, but the traffic on social media suddenly becomes a lot more about. Well, going a bit slightly political. If you give a massive video for someone shit like Phil Jones, you're going to get, even if it's negative, you're going to get loads of people tweeting about it, all of this. That then means you can demand a bit more money for advertising on your. Do you know what I'm getting at a little bit there? Is it
something that we're clearly struggling with?
Well, yeah, exactly. Is it a lot more of an ulterior motive?
So we're saying even this one that I'm ranting about, which I thought this was one of the few I'd get away with it, is that we're saying it's because of the commercial side of football.
I can't see personally any other reason other than the fact that albeit even if it's negative press, the club will make more money out of it. From doing these stupid videos.
Last month, United have been scheduling one a week, basically, haven't they?
Yeah, just not the right players.
Yeah, but they've been doing it as in there's a feel-good factor around the club. We're announcing a new contract every week. Never mind, it's Phil Jones and a youth player and a sub-keeper or whatever else.
So are these extensions or new contracts as such? Or is it the same?
Same thing, isn't it?
Same thing.
No, but is an extension the same money, but for a few more years?
But I think it's like.
Well, we're never going to find out.
I think the ones that has the big shirt is when they have signed like a new 4-year deal, for example.
Yeah.
Rather than a contract extension is absolutely pointless.
Yeah, I don't.
If it's a 1-year contract extension, who gives a shit about a massive shirt saying 2020?
So what would you rather see instead then? So if you got rid of these big shirts and stuff,
Let's go back to what wasn't broken, which was a nice picture of them signing the contract, or, because it's not really that important, just a club statement to say, Phil Jones has signed a new 4-year contract. Congratulations to Phil. We look forward to seeing him here in the future. What's the problem?
I think the one that's pretty much spot on is there's a picture of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Nancy Martial. Just a little handshake, obviously with the advertising in the background. That's all you needed. Just a picture saying signing a contract. Happy days.
Genuinely.
And why am I Brenton Bears? I don't give a crap.
Genuinely, the reason I think this has come about is because the old pen and paper thing. You remember Arsenal did it back in 2012 or 13?
Yeah, with the 5 players.
The 5 players, the future of our club, and the last one's just left, which is Aaron Ramsey.
No, he's not the last
one. Oh, it's Carl Jenkinson.
Carl
Jenkinson's the last one left. Kieran Gibbs, Jack Wilshere, Theo Walcott. No, Oxlade Chamberlain.
Sorry.
So there were 5 players there, and obviously because that's gone so disastrously wrong, I think clubs are scared to have the manager with the arm around the player. It's going to be brilliant. So I think that's what it is.
It's like what's the word? A jinx almost.
Yeah, it's a bit of a jinx. So I'm very unhappy about it. I can't understand a good reason for it other than commercial. But I don't understand why it suddenly just crept up. Why has it become?
I've seen it for years.
I don't remember seeing it much.
Does it go on?
I don't think it really matters.
Does it go on in lower league football? Because I think if it gets to that point, we've crossed the threshold.
I don't expect someone
So we're going to
expect someone from Kidderminster to do it.
No, but say
no.
Let's say Luton's extend James Justin's contract. Is he going to have a shirt?
Probably.
No.
More importantly,
disagree.
If Craig Savage at Crawley Green Reserves gets his assistant manager contract
for another year,
that's the
are we getting a Savage 2020? Is that what your club's going to spend its budget on? He's setting a bad tone.
I will say, I
don't need a contract extension. I just need.
You just need them to include you in the tweets of the photos.
No, I see what you mean. I think if it starts to, it's another one of those stupid.
What's the point? That's all I want to know. What's the point?
Be down. I think I don't get that.
I don't know why he's moaning. But to be
I'm
honest,
accepting it's not a big issue. We promised these midweek rants to be trivial.
This is as trivial as the shirt. Who keeps the shirt? I'm sure the player will keep the shirt.
Well, no, that's a great point. And
what to keep when he goes 6 months later?
It's an excellent point you've raised there because. I think it's Mbappe's shirt, or all of these shirts.
Mbappe's shirt can burn.
No, but hear me out.
You found a solution.
What actually happens to them?
You found a solution.
Did I?
Those shirts should be auctioned for charity.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But then signed by whichever player signed the contract, the manager who's given it, auctioned for charity.
What a waste
solves
of
the
a shirt,
problem.
though. Genuinely.
But then after that, again, you get shirt signings and anyway. So
no, what I mean is what do they do with that shirt once they've?
That shirt has no use for football.
You can't play it.
But it's like every bit of memorabilia, like football stickers and everything like that.
Oh no! Football stickers are the best thing that ever happened.
Yeah, but that's the same. I'm not disrespecting the stickers.
And as an adult,
I'm not disrespecting the stickers. I'm saying it's that type of memorabilia. It's like
it's
like claiming a hat-trick ball.
But
they're all things that can be used. If you get a hat-trick ball, yes, it's got a signature on. You might want to frame it, but you could also still use it as a football. That shirt.
No, why would I still use it as a football?
That player himself. So Phil Jones. We keep using his example, so it's probably just easiest.
Yeah.
So what does it sound about 2023 or whatever? It's for argument's sake. Phil Jones.
It's irrelevant.
He can't walk down the street with that on because he's a footballer anyway, and also he'd look ridiculous.
But why would he?
Any fan would look ridiculous.
He can't wear it to training. What do you do with that shirt? You frame it. What? Do you have like 4 of them if you've been at the club for 12 years? You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Or auction it off and then build a 3G pitch with it.
Do
something for the community.
In a subway somewhere. Exactly that.
There are so many solutions for the clubs, but again, it's narrow-mindedness, and that could be the solution. So well done, Craig, for bringing it up, and Charlie for making it a plan.
Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for regular content on the Honest Football Podcast.